Friday Focus time again. Okay, so today's Friday Focus is based off of two questions we got in during the week. One question was, Joe, have you any tips for getting more vegetables or ways to get more vegetables into my diet? I'm finding it very hard to eat vegetables that I've prepared on a Sunday and then maybe eat them on a Tuesday, Wednesday when they're probably gone a little bit soggy in the fridge. And then also the second question was, when you prescribe food plans or diets for your members or for people, what tips do you give, or what way is the best to get the vegetables intake in? So I'm going to try and answer both those questions into one here, and hopefully this does the trick, okay? I only had this discussion with my own coach Matt from OPEX last week about people generally just going straight for coffee first thing in the morning. It's a very acidic load. This is a more alkaline way to start your day. So a tip that I've sort of implemented or started to use, which works really, really well for me, because there's a lot of people who are quite stuck for time in the morning, and you want to make your prep or the process of making your shake as handy as possible. So I make these little bags of fruit and vegetables first thing in the morning. Or actually I make them on a Sunday, but I have one for every morning of the week, and it's just very, very easy. So in these bags I put a half a banana, 50 grams of cucumber, 2 full kale leaves, 50 grams of fresh beetroot, a small piece of ginger, size of your fingernail roughly, 2 handfuls of spinach, a small cup handful of frozen berries, and a stick of celery. So this is all in a frozen bag. I just take it out of the freezer every morning. I put it into, I use a Ninja bullet, okay? Then I add some water and I add a protein powder into that. Blend it all up and I'm good to go then. I just drink that on the go. As I mentioned, a lot of people go straight for coffee first thing in the morning, which can be quite an acidic load. This is a lot more alkaline and is a better way to start your day. Not to say you can't have the coffee a little bit later or just after this. One thing I will say, when you choose a blender here, make sure it's about 900 watts or above, because anything sort of below that will leave this like sort of a clumpy mixture, whereas a couple of spins in, as I said, the likes of a Ninja bullet will leave quite a smooth texture, and it actually doesn't taste too bad. That's a really good way to get your first dose of veg in. Now, if you just get this in the morning, that means if you don't have access to vegetables for the rest of the day, or you don't make any vegetables for the rest of the day, you still get a good load in the morning, and anything else or sort of after this is just a bonus. But then another thing I've sort of implemented in the evening time to get more salads in. Again, trying to shy away from prepping too much in the evening time. I want to get in, get my dinner made as quick as possible and sort of relax as much as I can. I just make a big salad, so I just get a big glass bowl, one that can generally put a lid on so I can shake it up. And then in that I have some rocket and baby leaf salad. I chop up some romaine lettuce, and then I put in some fresh jalapenos, some red peppers, chia seeds, spring onion, tablespoon of olive oil and balsamic vinegar. Sometimes I also have some small cherry tomatoes in there. And what I do is I put the lid on, shake that all up, and that's pretty much prepped and ready to go. It just cuts out a small bit of prep times in the evenings if you're stuck for time. As always, guys, any questions, get them in and we'll get them answered as best we can.